rising and bright blessings, or grand afternoon, I suppose. Today is Saturn Day. It is the 14th. It's National Love Day, or Single Awareness Day, or Galentine's Day, or Best Dudes Day, whatever you're doing. I don't know. All I do want to say is we only have one transit that is going to be popping in like about 8:30. Sorry, I'm just moving my camera. But it's kind of significant. As it's been leading us into some of the fun things that are going to be taking place this week. You guys all know that this is going to be one of the busiest astrological weeks of the entire week. Let me break it down. Not going to pull up any maps. Got way too much stuff to say. You might want to save this and come back to it, but I will break it down day by day. First and foremost, we all know that yesterday Saturn moved out of Pisces and into Aries, changing the flavor and changing the game for a lot of people. We also, on the 26th of this month, are going to experience Mercury retrograde. So many of us, based upon the appointments and other conversations I've had over the past several days with people, is I can't get my thoughts to formulate. I can't get the words out of my mouth. I can't get this to connect. Well, Mercury retrograde always has a shadow period. It's usually a week, maybe up to 2 weeks prior and then post the whole turning of what happens with Mercury. So you've got, Saturn in Aries, Mercury retrograde shadow, and of course, with the changes that are taking place today, opening up the energy and the portal space for what is going to come on Tuesday. And that is the solar eclipse that we're going to experience in Aquarius. But wait, there's more. So today, specifically, there's only two, I almost want to call it 1.5 transits at 8:31 p.m. because we haven't had anything else all day. What happens is the moon, which is currently in Capricorn, is going to go void, which means it loses its power position because tomorrow by 1:17 a.m. on Sunday, it will now be in the sign of Aquarius. What happens also at the same time at 8:31 p.m. is that the moon is going to have a perfect trine with Uranus, which is the modern ruler of Aquarius. Uranus, is responsible for what a lot of people say, and I have said it too, shock and awe. But what it wants you to do is it wants you to get your thoughts together. It wants you to be original. It wants you to be authentic. It also has a lot of energetics responsible for the way that information flows, including technology. So there could be some weird, wonky things that have shown up and will continue to do so. But today is an 8, Universal Numerological Energy Value Day. 8s are about power. They're about being in your authentic energy. They are being the best version that you can, not only for yourself, and if you're called to it, to support other people, but it is about you gathering strength. That's the best way that I can say it. Tomorrow on the 15th, and I will be looking at my notes because I have a lot. On tomorrow, the 15th, like I said, moon goes into Aquarius at 1:17 a.m. Then at 1:33 a.m., the moon is going to have its own separate sextile with Saturn. And then at 2:22 a.m. on Sunday, the separate moon has its own sextile with Neptune. Dun, dun, dun. The best thing about Neptune is that it helps us to create that fantastical energy about dreams, wishes, sometimes inspirations about other things. It's not the only one, but it does assist us with those things. The worst thing about Neptune frequency is it sometimes can create confusion, delusion, and a few other different things that pop up for people. And because it's happening at so early in the morning, I trust that a lot of people are going to wake up on Monday, which is President's Day / holiday here in the United States of whatever. A lot of things can possibly be recorded if you will take the time to do so. Then the only other transit that takes place on Sunday is by 9:30. The moon in Aquarius is going to have a kissy face conjunction with the Pluto that's in Aquarius. So anytime a conjunction happens, it amplifies both aspects. Change. Okay? Can you be restrained with your own personal change? I guess is the question that I'm putting out to you. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. Because the following day, on Monday, okay, President's Day, we're going from an 8 universal day today, a 9 universal day on Sunday, to a 10/01 day on President's Day, which is endings and beginnings with the energy and frequency of what the moon Aquarius is trying to do. Got a couple big things that are going to be showing up on that day. Hopefully, you have the day off and you can rest. But if you don't, here's what you need to watch out for. The sun is going to have a square with Uranus. Okay. So the moon in Aquarius is going to have a square with the sun and the ruler of Aquarius. And so there's a lot of mental gymnastics that could possibly be taking place on this day. There's going to be a quincunx with Jupiter, which is going to affect some of our Cancerians and our Capricorns because of the axis that they're on, the opposing energies. But the big one for me is the fact that Mars is going to conjunct the moon on Monday, and that's going to be at like 1:09 p.m. So right after lunchtime. That could be a little sticky wicket for some people because the energy of that is masculine, rebellious sort of frequency and energy. Now, if you're doing something to radically shift yourself, we're all good. But there could be some extra shenanigans that you could possibly be seeing out there in the ethers. And so you need to be mindful of that. The other thing that takes place on Monday is in the evening where the chatty Cathy of the universe, Mercury, has a positive trine with Jupiter. Now, I bring that up because, again, if you're doing things for yourself, insert whatever it is that's required for you with self here, you could find this to be a very powerful day for yourself and whatever activities you need to take part in, including maybe some workings. I'll just put it that way. Then, of course, we all know on the 17th is a 2 universal numerological energy value day. I'm going to refer to the computer because I pulled up some interesting things. 2 universal energy day, choices and change and choices. That's what all two frequencies are about, okay? At exactly 7:01 in the AM, we experience the solar eclipse. That is the sun and the moon in their own conjunction, creating the solar eclipse, ring of fire frequency, all the things. There could be a very interesting way that if you're in Antarctica and certain other places, you will be able to see some of this. The entire planet is not going to be able to see and view this. But we also are going to be experiencing the Chinese Lunar New Year. I have some facts I wrote down. I explained this in my Faceplace group the other day, but I want to say it again here so you can go back and save this if you want to. But we know that the year of the horse, fire horse to be specific, is compatible with 3 of our zodiac signs. Of course, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius because of their fire frequency. Okay. But we also add in there the frequency of Gemini. And we also add the frequency of anyone that understands if they're a tiger or a dog. Those are completely compatible with the year of the horse. I'm going to give you the details about the tiger and the dog. So your tigers were born in 2019, 26, 38, 50, 62, 74, 86, 98, and 2010. And they are compatible because they are courageous and they support contributions to the masses. The dog, specifically loyal down to earth frequencies, are the 1958, 70, 82, 94, 2006, and 2018 birth signs. So if you're a tiger or you're a dog, then you are in hot compatibility with this year of the fire horse. Having had said that, I'm not even done yet. Please go slow, my friends, because the big thing that people are going to feel and have been feeling is this amped up energy, like I got to get everything done for the remainder of the month. Please do not. Strategy and contemplation is the key. Slow down, review, be strategic, and then execute your plan in order to speed up. Slow down, get it together, and then speed up. Be strategic. Okay. Now, also on this day, we all know that we are celebrating, or the Muslims that are celebrating are kicking off the fasting and the other beautiful things that they do for Ramadan. So you get the Muslims involved. You also have the beginnings of Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, especially here in New Orleans, beginning the last day of whatever, before we also start. The Christian faith is celebrating the Lent period. So all of those are giving certain things up. But we also have Tibetan Buddhists that are celebrating, I'm not going to get the name right, but what they are celebrating on the 16th and the 17th is their Tibetan Buddha days for cleansing the mind, body, and home of negativities that have been accumulated throughout the year. The eclipses are all about releasing us from many different types of things. So do not put pressure to yourself to get too many things done over the next few days.